Joining me now, the director of that new documentary film. Oh, by the way, he also helped put together that amazing documentary called Capital Punishment, which you saw on One America News for several weeks. I want to welcome to the program Chris Burgard. Chris, welcome back, sir. How have you been?
Every day's Christmas, Dan, every day.
You look like you're having fun out there on the ranch and like we're interrupting, but you've been a busy, busy guy besides tending to horses and fields. You've been putting together, not only you and our friend Nick Searcy, the actor, put together Capital Punishment. Now you've been working on this one with a great American, Tom Homan. I saw Victor Avila in there and some other great guys from Border Patrol and ICE that used to work under Trump. You've put this border piece together for folks to really understand what's going on at our southern border.
You bet. Death County and the River of Broken Dreams. We started an organization called Defend the Border, Save Lives, based on Tom Homan's book. And Victor does a great job in the picture. He's awesome in there. And the things that you're going to see in this show, you're not seeing on CNN or Fox or MSNBC. And if I could just tell you real quick, Dan, I've been covering the border for 18 years. And I have never seen the level of trained military personnel coming across our border as they are now. I mean, I'm talking about from countries that don't like us very much: Cuba, right, Venezuela, Honduras, Guatemala, and the number of passports. China. I haven't run into a Chinese
just
soldier,
in the last couple of weeks. I saw people posting video with long lines of folks from China too, just recently.
Well, let me tell you my firsthand experience with Chinese. I can tell you, my buddy has a ranch down here in Texas, and they actually encountered Chinese coming through their border with advanced, what they figure was satellite mapping equipment, and that they were mapping routes through this remote ranch. So what that tells you is, while we're all looking at the multitudes of people coming across in specific areas with all the civilians, we don't have our eye on the military and the other assets that are coming through in the more remote parts of the border. And they are coming from China as well as many other countries.
Oh, yeah.
We've known that.
140, like literally, it's almost every other damn country out there has now come in. And it's not just sweet women and children looking to be asylum seekers. And that's what the mainstream media keeps leaving out. These are hardened criminals. They're opening their psych wards and their prisons in these countries and letting them loose. What Trump has told us is happening. And then again, like you said, you've got militants, combatants that have either been exiled, kicked out, or they're coming here with some sort of agenda that are coming through as well. I mean, and just in the beginning of your piece, hearing from those guys that have worked Border Patrol for 20, 30 plus years, you hear them talk about Tom and Victor and the rest of them about how secure it was under Trump, and literally within days of Biden taking over, it was a complete 180. And it's the worst our nation's ever seen, the numbers now in the last 6 months.
It was within 48 hours, and it was done on purpose.
Wow.
And we don't have enough time for me to tell you all the examples of how they purposely destabilized the border and how it's hurting us to this day. And I can't tell you what it's like to stand on the U.S. border that used to be secure when I used to cover it 15, 16 years ago. It was more secure, but under Trump, it was locked down. And now to stand at that razor wire and be picking up passports and IDs from all over the entire globe, it's insane. It's insane. And the reason they drop their IDs at the razor wire is because they need them to get through Mexico, but they don't want U.S. authorities to know that they may have terrorist connections or they have a criminal background. And the people are running into from Venezuela that get out of the prisons, they're laughing about it. They're like, yeah, I was in prison in Venezuela, but I'm free in America. And they're giggling as they come across the lines because they know that they know how upside down things are, and they're taking advantage of it.
Yes, they are. And this is a invasion. It is meant to change the electorate of this nation so that Democrats believe they can build in a win for federal elections every year once they legalize these 10, 15 million they're going to allow in under Biden. That's my firm belief as to what they're doing.
Well, your belief is correct, but you're not going far enough. You have to look at this as fifth generation war. This isn't about immigration. This isn't about policy. This is fifth generation war. And if you look at the tools that you use to get the low hanging fruit, You know, the first year Biden's in office, we have over 106,000 deaths by fentanyl and heroin that the Sinaloa cartel brings in with the help of the Albanians and the Chinese Communist Party. That's done on purpose to kill Americans. We have more dead Americans just in the first year of Biden's regime than we did in the wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Vietnam combined.
Right.
So that should tell you something. And the cartels make money off of all sorts of stuff. They make more money now off of people than they do drugs, which they make billions off both. But you also have to understand how big of a business selling children is. And as you'll see in this episode, Joe Biden was the point person back in 2014, 2015 in Central America. He went down there on a campaign saying, "Give me your kids." And as the result of that, and this is something that kept coming on throughout the Trump years, but just the first year of the Biden regime being in power, we have 266,000 unaccompanied children in the United States of America. 266,000. That's on purpose.
Oh,
that makes him the largest child trafficker in the history of the United Nations. And something else that people don't know about, Trump had biometric restrictions in. You came to a detention center and you want to pick up Jose, I'm Jose's uncle. You had to prove it with your DNA.
Oh, I know. We've had those stories on Chris. They've lost 86,000 since he's been in. We've already talked about that one on the show. 86,000.
That they told you about.
Yeah, that they told us about, that they've lost count of. We don't know where they're at. That is horrific. Chris, I'm out of time. Where can people go see Death County and the River of Broken Dreams? How do they watch it?
Well, let me keep talking to attorneys. I'm hoping that we're going to see it on One American News Network.
Oh, okay.
You guys did a great job when we did capital punishment. Then a few weeks later, you got kicked off files. So I apologize for that, but y'all are the only people getting the truth out there. So let's see if we can legally make this work so we can get it to you guys.
All righty. Well, I'll get you in touch with ownership, and hopefully we can all view it very, very soon. Chris, man, thank you for standing up for what's right in this country and telling the damn truth. We appreciate you.
God bless, Dan. Have a great weekend.
Yep, you too.